Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Today's a great day. Only thing I couldn't do was fix the weather, so sorry about that. We're here. We thought it would be rather cold and wet and damp standing outside. But a great day today to open our MadLabs. And we have a series of people who want to bring some comments to bear on today's occasion. And so I am first of all going to invite Tony Knorr from First Premier Bank to come up and read some comments from Miles Beacom. Tony?
Thank you, Dr. Griffiths. Honored to be here today and share some prepared comments from Miles and Lisa Beacom. First, I'd like to take a few minutes to acknowledge the person we just mentioned who helped make this day possible. Miles Beacom is a 1981 graduate of Dakota State University. He's a business student. Has spent most of his career at Premier Bank Card, where he currently serves as CEO. He and his wife have been strong supporters, as you know, of the university, and their presence can be felt throughout campus. In 2013, the Beacoms, in partnership with Denny Sanford and the Premier organization, donated $5 million to build what is now the Beacom Institute of Technology. During that building's dedication in August of that year, he announced, along with Lisa and Denny, an additional $30 million gift to build the facility that is now just right next to us. And then just most recently, for those of you that were at the Ag Bowl, we announced another $10 million to jumpstart the efforts with the new athletic complex. For those of you that know Miles, he is sincere. He is fantastic to work alongside at the Premier organization, and it's just great to see, as a graduate of Dakota State myself, to see what is happening and what continues to happen and what the future holds. So they are a true blessing to the university and all those that work here and learn here. So, as I said, they're unable to be here, but I'm going to share just some comments from Miles and Lisa. Lisa and I sincerely wish that we could be with you today. Please know, however, that we are with you in spirit, and we are truly honored to be part of this amazing institution. Dakota State University provided me with the tools I needed to succeed. The faculty here prepared me academically, and they encouraged me to chase my dreams. We have never forgotten the impact that the university has had on us. It brings us great pleasure to help this community, this university, the faculty, and the students to continue to achieve great things. The advances in cybersecurity being made at Dakota State are amazing and transformational. Few places in the world have the type of education and research that is and will occur here on this campus. There is incredible excitement at Dakota State University, and the people are starting to take note around the world. My sincere hope is that one day the breakthroughs made in the building next to us here will benefit Dakota State, Madison, the state of South Dakota, and the entire world. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this special day, and I look forward to many successes that will take place in this facility in the years ahead. Thank you.
And now I'd like to invite David Link, who's Program Director of MadLabs, to come up and bring some remarks from Denny Sanford. Denny Sanford.
And boy, does that seem like kind of a contradiction. Very, very humbling to be here to represent some comments from Denny. You know, what Miles and Lisa and Denny, the whole Premier organization, what they've done for the state is truly astounding. It's really, you just can't overestimate where we are today in South Dakota because of that. I did have a chance to sit down with Denny a couple weeks ago and to talk about the grand opening. And his first comment was, boy, hasn't President Griffiths done a great job for DSU? So that was Likewise, he would like to be here. He didn't tell me honestly, but if he was probably honest about it, he'd say, I like to be in places warm this time of the year, and so that was probably a good decision. I think the weather tonight is great for a grand opening because you'll all be inside visiting with wonderful faculty members and representatives that they have about the neat projects we have in there. So please take time, go to all the presentations that are in there and really visit with folks. Some just amazing things that are happening. So now this is from Denny, very, very nice and short. I am so proud to have partnered with Miles and Lisa Beacom, Governor Dugard, and President Griffiths in creating this unique cyber research facility. I have been impressed by President Griffiths' vision for DSU overall and for this building. Computer science and cybersecurity are two of the most needed areas for scientific exploration and economic development. Expertise in these areas creates scores of opportunities for DSU's graduates and faculty pursuing cutting-edge research and career opportunities. This building is the first dedicated research building for DSU and will be a great resource for faculty, researchers, and students. Being a part of the financial services industry, I know firsthand that cyber attacks pose some of the most significant threats to our businesses and this country. I am particularly interested in that DSU will utilize this facility and its programs to make advances in addressing these immediate threats. Congratulations to President Griffiths, the DSU faculty and staff, JLG Architects, Journey Construction, and the many subcontractors on bringing this building to completion. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. The next person I'd like to come up here is he himself. He was very instrumental in helping us work with Miles and Lisa and Denny and bring the gift to fruition, and that was Governor Dennis Dugard. So we'd like to have Governor Dennis Dugard please come up and make some remarks.
Thank you, President Griffiths. Good afternoon. I'm very excited to be here. Linda and I got here about 4 o'clock, and we got a little bit of a sneak peek at MadLabs, and we enjoyed that very much. It was 1984 when a forward-looking legislature and then Governor Janklow got together and asked the Board of Regents to join with them and direct Dakota State University to focus on the computing sciences. And they asked them to deliver leading-edge, technology-intensive degrees. And you might remember back then, even respiratory therapy or teaching or anything else that Dakota State was offering, all the students were involved in technology, every one. This mission change has had a tremendous impact on Dakota State, as you know, and on South Dakota. More than 3 decades later now, Dakota State has emerged as a national cyber leader for our nation. It's really amazing, but don't take my word for it. Just look at indicators. There are 4 National Security Agency and Department of Homeland Security designations that Dakota State has. They've been designated a Center of Excellence for Information Assurance Education, a Center of Excellence for Information Assurance Research, a Center of Excellence for Cyber Operations. This is the most technical. They're one of only 23 in the nation, and they were among the first 4 in the nation. So they're the old folks in the group. They're the experienced ones. And they are a National Consultation Cyber Defense Regional Resource Center. Now, what does that mean? It means other educational institutions ask Dakota State what to do in the world of cyber. DSU is the only university in the country selected by the National Cryptologic School for the National Security Agency, military and civilian employees, to complete their bachelor's or graduate degrees in cyber operations. They have the United States' largest National Science Foundation Gen Cyber camps for middle school and high school students. And Lynn and I were amazed at how many applicants they have for the limited positions that they can offer. DSU is home to the nation's largest cohort of National Science Foundation CyberCore Scholarship for Service recipients. The list, that's just a little bit of the list. It goes on and on. 2 years ago, we dedicated the Beacom Institute of Technology. Some of you were here, many of you were here that day, as a worthy symbol of the excellence of Dakota State's offerings and their expertise in information technology, and we celebrated the naming of that building as the Beacom Building. And as President Griffiths mentioned, it was also the day that Miles and Lisa and Denny were present to announce the decision they had made to make a very significant gift to Dakota State, to name the new College of Computing and Cyber Science, the Beacom College. This is what Denny wanted. President Griffin and I and Randy were ensconced in Randy's office. Gosh, when was that? 3 years ago, probably. Where's Randy? Back here. Randy and I and President, and we were thinking, we need to ask Denny Sanford for some big money. We were thinking 50 million, 100 million. We were thinking pretty big that day. But we came up with, actually President Griffiths came up with a very extensive and detailed proposal. And we massaged it and changed it and manipulated it and edited it. And then Mike Rounds agreed to help. In fact, he had a great idea. He said, we should go to Lawrence and Schiller and put together a video so that we sit down with Denny. We don't hand him this, I don't know, what was it, 10-page document. And we show him a picture of the demand for cybersecurity and all the data breaches. Just think about all the data breaches you read about in the paper and how many people's credit ratings or income tax returns were at risk. And we laid that out before Denny, and it was at a meeting where Dave Knudsen was present, and Dana Dykhouse was president, but Miles was late because his daughter was playing basketball that day, so he couldn't come. And so it was great because then we could hatch this idea of doing something in Miles' name without him present. And of course, you know how it all turned out. Miles and Lisa ended up giving, what, 15 million, and Denny 15 million, conditioned on the state giving 10, which we did, and also conditioned on Dakota State working hard to get another 20 million in support federally, which they've been working every day to do over a 5-year period. Successfully, they've been doing it. So today, that day was a great day, and one of the things that the dollars, which ended up being about 60 million total, were committed to do was to build this building, which is now being opened up for all of us today. So I hope I haven't stolen everything you were going to say, President Griffiths, but really we owe a great debt of gratitude to Danny Sanford and for Miles and Lisa for being the kind of people they are, and for Denny wanting to honor them for that character and commitment to Dakota State. And so Lynn and I are very pleased to be here and have played a very small role in helping make it happen. So congratulations, President Griffiths. One thing Denny has told me several times when he's talked about giving, whether to Children's Home or a Crazy Horse or any place, he will not give to an organization if he does not believe in the leadership. So he wanted to know that President Griffiths was going to stay. He wanted someone like David Link to be associated with this effort. And with those two things in place, he was confident in that ingredient of his decision-making process. So congratulations for your leadership and yours, and congratulations to Dakota State for this another great step on the way to even bigger and better things.
Thank you, Governor. You did play a major role. I won't tell the story about how the proposal got written, but that's another day. The other person that you mentioned, though, who was also instrumental in this was Senator Mike Rounds. And today I'd like to invite Mark Johnston, who brings comments from Senator Rounds.
Good evening, everyone. What a great crowd. I got a short note from Senator Rounds. Dear Dr. Griffiths, distinguished guests, and everyone in attendance at the MadLabs grand opening. I'm sorry I cannot be with you today to celebrate this wonderful grand opening. In the coming years, when we look back at how our nation defended and prevented cyber attacks in both the public and private sectors from our enemies, we will remember this day as the start and the acceleration of those freedom-defending missions. MadLabs will be one of America's most important places to solve cybersecurity problems. It will be a hub for research and development. It will attract students and faculty who will create an army of cyber researchers and cyber warriors. This is also a day of gratitude. Thank you to everyone involved in funding, designing, and building this extraordinary place. And let's also give our very special thanks to Miles and Lisa Beacom, to Denny Sanford, to Governor Dennis Dugard, and the South Dakota legislature for seeing the need and having the vision to make this happen. This is also a great day for the future generations of South Dakotans. 2 of our 17 national science labs are named for Ernest O. Lawrence. But many people don't know that Mr. Lawrence grew up in Canton, South Dakota. He created the cyclotron, the atom smasher, at the University of California, Berkeley in 1929, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1939. His brother, John Lawrence, joined him at Berkeley and is known as the father of nuclear medicine. Unfortunately, both Ernest and John had to leave South Dakota to do what they wanted to do. But now, with the creation of the Sanford Lab, the Beacom, and now MadLabs, students won't need to leave South Dakota to make their dreams come true. Best wishes for a great celebration today and a great future for MadLabs. Sincerely, Mike Rounds, United States Senator.
Thank you very much. There are 2 other people. The idea of a secure facility was not new. I didn't come up with it. I wasn't the only one who said, let's do this. 2 people I spoke to very, very early on, I think just as I was arriving here. One was Dr. Josh Pauli, who is our Vice President for Research and Economic Development. And I asked him why we didn't have a secure research facility. The other person was Russ Olson. And he and I think our very first conversation, Russ, was about a secure facility. They said, well, we've talked about it, we've thought about it, we've been advised it won't work. And I think my answer was, people haven't conceived of it the right way. So I just wanted to invite Casey Crabtree, who's with the Heartland Power District, as Russ is CEO. And Casey is going to bring some comments from Senator John Thune today. Thank you.
Well, good evening, folks. It's a great crowd, and you know it's a special night in Madison to see the faces like former Governor Dennis Dugard and Congressman Dusty Johnson, and then especially a unique night to get DeLon Mork out of the Dairy Queen during dinner hour. So that never happens. But I have a few remarks to share on behalf of Senator John Thune. So, dear friends, I would like to thank you for the invitation to attend the grand opening and ribbon-cutting ceremony of Dakota State University's MadLabs facility. I regret that I'm not able to attend in person on such an important day for DSU and the entire Madison community. But I wanted to extend my thanks to DSU, President Jose Marie Griffiths, and everybody here today who made this event possible. The quality of education that students receive in South Dakota is among the best in the nation. And thanks to the dedication of our universities, faculty, administrators, and state officials, This high-quality education continues to expand by providing more opportunities for students in South Dakota and across the nation. Today's event exemplifies that dedication, and I appreciate the efforts and contributions made by former Governor Dennis Dugard, Denny Sanford, Miles Beacom, and DSU under Dr. Griffith's leadership to make this facility a reality. As cyber threats become increasingly more sophisticated and are proliferating at an alarming rate, it is essential that we have cybersecurity strategy that involves a coordinated effort between the government, higher education institutions, and the private sector. The new state-of-the-art facility is a vital part of DSU's effort to accomplish that goal by graduating students who are prepared to enter the workforce with the necessary training to tackle current cybersecurity vulnerabilities while also protecting our nation against future cyber threats. This celebration recognizes, among other things, the positive influence the MadLabs facility will have on DSU's students, faculty, and surrounding community. Again, I congratulate all of you, and I look forward to seeing the contributions this facility will make to DSU and the state of South Dakota. Sincerely, John Thune, United States Senator.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to invite Representative Dusty Johnson to come up and say a few words.
Well, I've been sitting here for the last 15 minutes, and it slowly dawned on me that, you know, everybody else who's been speaking has made a massive contribution to this project. I mean, $5 million or $15 million or $15 million or $10 million. And I don't have that kind of involvement with this project. And so I've got $35 in a Dairy Queen coupon, ma'am, that I want to do what I can to help. Thank you. Oh, please. It's literally the least I can do. So, no, when you think about what in the world am I going to talk about today, right? There's so many different themes, and you can talk about the incredible generosity. You can talk about the economic development impact of having dozens of these top-level jobs that are going to be available in this community. You can talk about Dakota State and about how this is a place that just gets better. It gets stronger every single year. You can talk about Madison, a community that just does not know how to say no. Madison's always saying yes. So you have all these themes about what this means for the students or the professionals or about for the community or for the state. But instead, I want to talk about what this means for the United States of America. Because of what I heard last week. Last week in our House Intelligence Committee, we had the Director of National Intelligence who sat there, and when he was asked, what is the greatest threat to America? He said, cyber threats. Cyber threats are the most significant threat to this country. Now, that wasn't a real surprise to me because 5 months earlier, I had an administration official in my office. And when I had asked a question about the growing threats of cyber security, he said, you know, with all due respect, Congressman, this is not a future problem. We are today, as a nation, at war with Russia, with North Korea, with China. We are at cyber war already. And so when you really comprehend that, when you feel that, you begin to understand that every day people seek to do us harm. In the dark of night, in the light of the day, in the buzz of a weekday, in the calm of a Sunday, in the cold of the winter, in the wet of the spring, or of the summer, or of the fall. There are bad people, there are bad countries who are working overtime to do this country damage. And so there are only a few things left for us to do. We have questions to ask ourselves. Do we want to win this war? And the answer is yes, we have to. Do we have the human capital necessary to win this war? And just look around. Dakota State has proven it before, and they will prove again, that they have the human capital to win this war. So then the final question for the rest of us, for people like Miles, for people like Denny, for the Board of Regents, for this community, is will we equip those people? Will we support them? Will we encourage them? Will we give them the tools to win this war? We have our answer today. Because of these investments, because of this leadership, our country will be safer tomorrow than we were yesterday. And that and a Dairy Queen coupon is worth celebrating. Thanks.
Thank you. As we come to a close, last week I received a gift, and it's a very nice plaque, a commemorative plaque, and it says, on behalf of the National Security Agency and the National Cryptologic School, congratulations to Dakota State University on the grand opening of MadLabs Cyber Research. And there's a little handwritten note here which says, thank you, DSU and Dr. Griffiths, for your service in keeping our nation safe. So I just wanted to read that one out to you. And my task here in closing out is really to just to thank some people, and I probably missed some people, so I apologize if I do. But first of all, I want to thank the Board of Regents. The Board of Regents heard this. This was a crazy, wacky idea when I first went to them. And very soon after that, within a few months, it was on the list of priority projects. That helps. I mean, if the Board of Regents hadn't seen it as a priority project, I don't know that we'd be here today. Second of all, the Governor's Office and the Governor's Office of Economic Development have been very, very helpful, as you've heard. Thirdly, the South Dakota Legislature that voted unanimously to have the MadLabs project go forward and give us permission to actually build. That was significant for us, and I tell you, the interest in what we were doing from outside entities increased with that vote. I also wanted to mention, hang on, I've got the list, the Office of the State Engineer. What we've done in that building, you can't really see it, but the engineering of that building has never been done in this state before. And the Office of the State Engineer had to be with us every single step of the way, making sure that we met all the state requirements as well as hitting all the federal requirements. We went back and forth quite a lot, so we're very, very grateful. JLG was our architectural firm. Journey Construction handled the construction. We had many, many subcontractors that were involved in the project, especially our local contractors who continue to help us grow and help Madison grow. There were very special requirements for the subcontractors, so I know Journey put in a lot of effort to make sure we met all those requirements as well. Sorry, let me see. DSU facilities management staff worked sometimes around the clock on various issues. DSU ITS, the Information Technology Services staff, still working hard. When you go over there, not all the technology is there yet. We're still in that process. And the DSU Research and Economic Development Department have done a tremendous amount. There's one other group I have to thank. These things don't happen because one person or 3 people or 10 people have an idea. We have an idea and we set it in motion. But this project became owned by the faculty. The concept of research clusters, not a single faculty member pursuing a single research agenda, groups of faculty coming together across subdisciplines to work together on real problems that exist in the world is what made this happen. We went to the faculty and said, you tell us, what are the problems you think you can solve? And if they were a little bit narrow, we sent it back and said, go think about it a little bit more. And what has emerged, you'll see over there, is a set of research clusters. We call them MadLabs. It was good that we came up with a good name. That helped too. I knew when regents were coming to me and saying, what's happening with MadLabs? We had a good idea and a good name. But the faculty have taken this on. They've developed it. We said, we can't wait for a building. We're going to start doing the work. They started doing the work. And each MadLab in itself is doing great work, and it's a testament to the expertise of faculty and the ideas that they have and their ability to identify problems and solve them. But what's happening now is happening with ideas flowing across the labs, from one lab area to another lab area. When you go over there, you'll see the way we've designed it, and it's designed to facilitate that kind of interaction. So now we have new research problems and research ideas that are emerging because people are talking across these clusters, and new approaches to solving problems are also coming about. It is now a steam engine rolling off on its own. I shouldn't say that, that's old technology. A hypersonic train, and who knows where it will end up. But it's really something that has been taken on by the faculty, and that's the way it should be at an academic institution. the progress of an institution isn't driven by the leadership. It's driven by the faculty who adopt ideas and move it forward themselves. And I am just so grateful to our faculty here and to everybody around in this room and beyond who've made what was a dream come now to reality. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for being here, and we will retire to the MadLabs for a reception, and we'd love you to go in there, take a look around, and be as amazed as I am every time I go in there. So thank you very, very much for being here.